This is the Abu Dhabi Drag Racing Festival, held on the only track outside America recognised by the US Hot Rod Association. In the speed-crazy Emirates, this is their idea of heaven. The event goes on into the night, lit by floodlights, flames and fireworks. You can even get a passenger ride. I'm here to drive my first ever dragster, but also to watch Rod Fuller, who happens to be the third fastest man on the planet. He's going to try and drive faster than he's ever been before.
I've heard a bit about you.
And I watch you all the time. Big fan of yours.
So give us some specs about this car, because actually the numbers are extraordinary, aren't they?
Yeah.
So horsepower?
This car is fastest accelerating vehicle in the world. And I mean just everything. I mean jets, the space shuttle, it accelerates 0 to 150 kilometers in 0.8 of a second at 7.5 times the force of gravity.
Right.
8,000 horsepower. So essentially this one car has more horsepower than their first 4 rows of an F1 race.
I'm going to be having a go in this little small puppy of a dragster. What do I need to think about? Because obviously I've not done it before.
Yeah, what you're going to be running is a super comp dragster, and honestly, in all drag racing world, that is the toughest class. That's where all the best drivers come from. It's the grooming class before you get into this class.
My 1,200 horsepower machine can theoretically cover a mile in just 20 seconds. It is, by some considerable margin, the quickest thing we've ever driven on 5th gear. It's a formidable machine and a formidable challenge.
Well, I was just getting myself set up, trying to dial my mind in to go and do a run, and there's a bit of a delay because the previous guy before me's had a problem where it spat a load of oil out all over the grid. It's never good when things like this happen because it kind of upsets all your thinking and equilibrium, and even though, you know, I've only got to go in a straight line, there's quite a lot of stuff to do in here.
To say I was nervous would be an understatement of massive proportions, and nothing could have prepared me for what happened next. Rod had instructed me to lift off halfway down the track, but I still recorded a top speed of 173 miles an hour and completed the quarter mile in 5.2 seconds.
It's just extraordinary. You know, there's a process that you go through when you're in the cockpit of arming the transmission, setting up a transmission brake, putting the thing in the correct gear, and then you've got to pull forward. And then the computer takes over, yellows come on, I let go of the button and off I go. It's pretty hairy, if I'm honest.
And now it was Rod's turn, in a car with more than 6 times the power of mine. Nobody outside the USA has ever done the magic 500 km/h quarter-mile run, a record Rod was desperate to beat. One misplaced twitch of the steering wheel would cause a life-threatening accident. He blitzed it, reaching 507 kilometers an hour. That's 315 miles an hour in just 3.9 seconds. But being a racer, that wasn't enough for Rod. As darkness fell, he thought he could go even faster. But disaster. His engine exploded under the force of its own power. His team would have to fit a brand new one before Rod could run again.
So what's the Kel Damage? How much is that?
$65,000. That's like kabush. Most people would say, oh, I'm done with that, but I'm ready to get back in this thing and,
Good man.
and go fast.
I'll buy the round tonight then.
Yeah, you buy the round tonight.
Rod wasn't going to let the $65,000 bill get in the way. His mechanics installed a brand new engine in just 15 minutes. We waited in a privileged trackside position to feel all the fury of his final run.
On full acceleration, these things produce 2.5 Richter, so it's like a mini earthquake. Mental.
That wasn't the run, by the way. That was Rod just warming up his tyres. Colder track temperatures meant he couldn't go as fast, but he could still be proud. Hot Rod Fuller had set a new speed record of 507 kilometres an hour over a quarter mile.
It's not being funny. You cannot begin to imagine how mental that is. Oh man, I'm shaking. I've been punched in the kidneys, the liver, the head. It's just mental. That man is insane. I'm going home.
As soon as you get in the Callum Mark II, feels light years away from its old brother. For a start, this 5-speed gearbox is